Good evening, everybody. My name is Edward Miranda Mondesir. I clearly looked back at the video and it's completely muted. So I'm going live to explain what was going on during that live. I'm sorry about that. My phone had its Bluetooth connected to the headphones. That's why you guys couldn't hear anything. So in the first glimpse or clips I show you guys in those those paperworks over there in the backyard over here, I was talking about the mail that they sent back to me. If you look at the channel, I believe it was July 31st of 2025. On the YouTube channel, you see something about Christy J. Peruso's face as a thumbnail, which is the judge's face smiling. That's the judge that I sent it out to. It was a form, a paperwork about a motion regarding a false arrest and fabricated evidence. So they sent that back out to me in the paperwork that I showed you. They're making an excuse about a USB, so I'm gonna try something different, which will be with CDs. So me waiting around when I was on the phone, I don't know if you guys noticed, I had the other phone with me, which was this phone, and I was talking to the Todd Road jail. I'll show you the call log and explain what was going on. Give me 1 second. Now you guys could hear me. So I called Todd Road jail about 34 minutes ago. I called the United States Court at 8:44 a.m. So basically, I called the Todd Road jail explaining that my father never had his mail sent out on January 17. He sent it out. He sent out his mail. So the Ninth Circuit should have had it by January 21st. The same pattern how he sent out his around January 5th or January 6th of 2026. My father sent out his mail. And the Ninth Circuit received that mail on January 8th. January 8th, they send back out a copy letter of his letter, a copy of it, along with the COA that he never received. That's what he talks about in the letter. He ends up getting a mail back from them 4 days after the 8th, which is January 12th, of the COA, along with his copy of his letter. So my point is of this whole video that January 17th, he sent out mail. The Ninth Circuit was supposed to receive it. I called them last Thursday. They received it. January 23rd, I end up submitting that same form that they supposedly need, which is a notice of disclosure. So you see, from the 12th, my father had 14 days to respond. So now he has record of it, right? So now he's a witness to the COA in the 14 days that he has left. He goes ahead and submits that letter, the notice of disclosure, on January 17. It's being blocked. It's being obstructed. So I submit on his behalf on January 23rd that filing, and they have it on the record. I called the Ninth Circuit today, Monday. They never had it on the record. They stated that there was no mail that they received from my father, nor a letter, no nothing. So today, I'm getting an honest response and proof from the Ninth Circuit not receiving anything from my father about a notice of disclosure. All they see is my filing on his behalf on January 23rd. So I called the jail, as I stated 34 minutes ago. You see that I called them about the same time I was live. I called them and I explained how his mail is being obstructed. I would like to speak with a watch commander. They never let me speak with a watch commander. I was still talking with the receptionist. And she's talking about how, oh, yeah, he received a mail last week ago. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about what he received from the Ninth Circuit. What I'm talking about today is that his mail that he sent out January 17 never reached the Ninth Circuit. And she started stating that there is no record that they keep of the days that they send out mail, that it's beyond their control what happens with the mail. It's clearly being obstructed because if you look at the pattern before, when the Ninth Circuit was having communication with my father spoke with them through a letter. He sent out that letter January 5th or January 6th. They received it on the 8th. Then they respond back the same day of the 8th and send it back out on the 8th. He receives it on the 12th. So it takes a good 4 to 3 days for a postal mail or certified mail to reach your destination, especially from San Francisco to here is a good 4 days. So January 17th, he sends it out. The Ninth Circuit should have had it by the 21st and at least submitted on the 22nd. So when I called last week, Thursday, to the Ninth Circuit, they stated maybe there's a delay. So I didn't jump to conclusion. I waited today. Today's the day I called. Then they told me that they don't have it on the record. There was nothing sent out to them. So this is a clear observation, as I stated in the last live, but I was muted so you couldn't hear me. They are clearly obstructing federal mail, which is a federal offense. And whoever this person is in the Todd Road Jail facility, whoever you are obstructing this mail, just know that you will get caught. And you will go to jail for this shit, man. But not just any jail. You will go to federal fucking prison, federal jail. Okay? So what I'm seeing right now is just a bunch of grown-ass babies in suits that are afraid to take accountability. Who's really the adult in this situation right now? You work for the law and yet you're fucking violating your own law. What does that say about you as an individual, honestly? Like, what are you and who are you? Okay? So that's what that live was about. That whole live was about them obstructing this mail. And it's clear as day. And they're trying to cover it up like some bullshit. And I explained to this lady that I was talking to on the phone 34 minutes ago. Well, now it's a good 40 minutes ago because I've been live for 7 minutes. She stated that, oh, yeah, he received mail. I'm not talking about him receiving mail. I explained to her that he had communication with the Ninth Circuit from January 5th or January 6th. He sent out mail to them regarding a letter regarding the COA, Certificate of Appealability, he never received on July 25th of 2025. All right? You following me? He never received that. Therefore, it was obstructed. So the Ninth Circuit respond with a copy of his letter about that, as my father explained within the letter of November 22nd ambush and November 28th of 2023 ambush. He explains everything in an update, a clear observation of what's been going on in the Todd Road Jail facility and with the Ventura County case. That's recorded with the Ninth Circuit right now. They are aware of that, right? So January 8th, they respond with a copy stamp for his letter, sending out a copy along with the COA, and it reaches him January 12th of 2026. Okay? Now, he had a notice of disclosure, and he needed to respond within 14 days. He sends it out on January 17 of this year, and the Ninth Circuit should have had received it on January 21st of 2026. They never received it. And I called today this morning, as you saw in the beginning of this video. So when I end this live, you could rewind it and see the phone log at the time I called the Ninth Circuit. So on the 10th day, from the 12th to the 10th day, which I believe is the 23rd, I sent out the notice of disclosure filled out on his behalf, and I let them know that I'm filing as an ex-friend. They receive it. It's on the docket today when I called. But the only thing that they don't see is a mailing dating back January 17. And mind you, my father always puts the date of the time he's writing his letter. They do not have a recording of that, the Ninth Circuit. So this is a clear observation what the heck they're doing. They are obstructing his federal mail And they're playing a part like if nothing happened, they don't know who did it. There's already a grievance of who he sent it out to. And then when that's recorded, when I get the name, that's going on here as well. Mind you, one more thing. Within that letter that he sent out to the Ninth Circuit on January 5th or January 6th, it talks about the YouTube. So the Ninth Circuit is aware of this YouTube channel. They may be watching. I don't know. But I hope it's for a good cause and they see what's going on. So they clearly are aware that this appeal case had a time frame, and they tried sabotaging it by not sending out that notice of disclosure. Since now my father has the paperwork provided to him by the Ninth Circuit, they're trying to make it seem like he's not going to respond to them, right? Sabotaging his case. So now it's clear as day. It is as clear as day that they obstructed his mail so something wrong could happen to the Ninth Circuit case. That's clear observation, in the best of my knowledge, and me using logic to connect the two things. It doesn't make sense, correct? Somebody, Heather in the comments stated, they may be. It's possible. I'm not jumping to a conclusion. That's why last Thursday I didn't jump to a conclusion or speculated until today when I called the Ninth Circuit. They never received it. So what is truly going on here? Why are they obstructing mail? Why are they afraid of something? What did they do that they, you know what I mean? What did they do wrong? Basically, if they're supposedly working by the law and doing their job, what are they afraid of? Why are they afraid to document everything? Because right now, I don't know who's the true adult at this point right now. Is it them or is it me? Because I'm documenting everything. And I'm making sure everything is correct and on the record. So why are they obstructing mail and they know that's a crime? It's a crime to hide federal mail. It's a crime to open somebody else's mail. That's a federal offense. Exactly. Somebody said in the comment, they said, you are always patient. They are being suspect. Correct. Because there's no need to get angry at foolishness, you know? If you just take the time to look at this and really think to yourself, and you look at the pattern on how mail is supposed to be received and, back and forth, given back or took back, whatever. My point is, one time when I was in the postal mail office, a man asked a question, how long will the mail be sent or when will they receive it? They said it takes about a good 3 to 4 business days. So the fact that it's coming from San Francisco, I could understand if it's an extra day, like 4 days. Sometimes it's a week if it's across the state, like if it's going to New York. So that's not the case here. Right now, we're living next door. We're a neighbor of San Francisco. And that's where the Ninth Circuit is located. So how come January 17, no notice of disclosure was ever received by the Ninth Circuit, by Edward Jamon Desir? Why, when Edward Jamon Desir Sr., my father, sent out his letter, January 17, it was never received? If you do the calculation of the day, it would have been received on January 21st, January 22nd. And then when you look back at the old pattern, when the Ninth Circuit was getting in contact with them after he contacted them, right? He contacted them January 5th, January 6th. They respond on January 8th, getting a copy of his letter, stamping it, highlighting the November 22nd event, knowing that they most likely investigated that and they're looking for more investigation or something to help with their investigation. They send him a copy back with his letter along with the COA that he complained about within his letter. Okay? And you want to know when he received that? Count from 8 to 12. That's what? 4 days. So January 12th, he receives a mail from the Ninth Circuit. Notice it takes about 3 to 4 days. It's back and forth, 3 to 4 days. So what is going on here? Why did the pattern break of the mailing. Why did the pattern break? January 8th, they receive his copy about his letter, right? They received that copy of the letter January 12th. No, they received that copy January 8th. Then my father receives a copy from them January 12th. 3 to 4 days. January 17th, he sends out the notice of disclosure, which takes 14 days until he responds. If he doesn't respond within 14 days, they may dismiss it. So that's a clear observation that they're obstructing justice and trying to sabotage a federal appeal case. Just by using logic, just by the best of my knowledge, that is what's going on. I'm not jumping to a conclusion here. This is not a conspiracy. This is clear calculation. This is planned. Mind you, when he was sending out that letter, they read out the letter. The people in the Todd Road jail facility read his letter and had it sent out, right? Then when the Ninth Circuit responded and his mail came around January 12th, he received it late. Mind you, they had that letter since the morning of January 12th. He ended up getting that letter at night around 9 p.m. So now that you are aware, they are as aware as we are aware, as the YouTube channel is aware with all the subscribers and viewers. We are all aware of Todd Road Jail and the Ventura County crimes right now. We're all aware. Okay? So this is clear. I talked to the Ninth Circuit. Clear as day. I talked to the Ninth Circuit. They clearly stated there is nothing on the record of January 17. There's nothing on the record. And then on the 10th day from that notice of disclosure that my father received, right, on his COA, which is he needs to respond with a notice of disclosure, he has 14 days from the 12th. Count to 10 from the 12th. That's what? 23, right? That's 10 days. The 23rd, I respond to the Ninth Circuit with that form, filing it on his behalf. After I filed that on his behalf, I called today. It's on the record. They have date of January 23rd of me submitting it. So why didn't they receive his mail from January 17? It is clear that they're obstructing it. It is clear as day. As I stated before in the last live, which I was muted in, that live that I was muted in, I'll make sure I title it Muted Live. Or it will have the same title, but at the end it would say muted, so you guys are aware that it's muted. But I also talk about a letter in the beginning. I show you guys a letter, and it looks like this. This is how the letter looks like. So if you look at the channel, there is a title called July 31st, 2025, I believe, and it shows the female judge, Christy J. Peruso's face smiling. Within that, it talks about me sending out a motion regarding the false arrest and fabricated evidence motion with the USB. It's stated when you look at the video, the muted live, it states that the court reviewed this, but they're not taking it because of a USB policy bullshit. They're using an excuse. So I'll make sure they can no longer use an excuse when it's submitted with CDs, okay? And the filings. And they will have to put that back onto the record because from what I remember, it was on the record. August 19, I sent it out certified mail. They received it on the 21st of August 2025. So you see the three business day pattern, do you? You see the 4 business day pattern. So what happened in this year of January 17? Don't you think they should have received it on the 21st? 18, 19, 20, 21. It's going to the Ninth Circuit. So you have to think about that extra day. But if it was going to Ventura County, it would most likely been received on the 20th. So what is going on? I called the jail a good 40 something minutes ago. It's probably even more now. It's probably been an hour. I called him an hour ago, and they stated that he received a mail. But the whole time I was talking to that lady, I'm explaining the same thing I'm explaining right here, right now with you guys. And she's talking about something entirely different about him receiving mail. How can he receive mail from the Ninth Circuit of an update about the notice of disclosure if it's not even recorded within the Ninth Circuit record about January 17? They have no record of January 17. They have no record of a notice of disclosure dated January 17. So right now, that letter is a ghost. There's no record of it because these people clearly sabotaged that letter and obstructed it to affect and hurt the appeal case. If they think what they're doing is smart, it's by far the most stupidest shit that they're doing right now because I'm here still documenting. It's by far the most stupidest shit ever that they could possibly come up with. And then sending me back letters that was sent out to them for them to put onto the record of the motion. They refuse to put on the docket and then they send it back to me. Man, this is just the most childish shit ever. It's very childish. Very childish. It makes me think like we really have these supposed government officials working within the citizen state, yet they're childish as shit. How did they even get the job in the first place? With this fucking corrupted mind, they think they're doing something. This is the most stupidest shit that they're doing. It's the pressure is on right now. The pressure's on them more than ever. There's multiple cases in the Ninth Circuit right now, and right now I'm working on a motion. And I know that I was supposed to submit a few videos for the state hospital, part 3 and part 4, I believe. Please give me time because I'm working on a motion and other things that need to be filed as soon as possible. But just know I'm going to submit that. So today, I'm talking to you guys about how they're obstructing my father's federal filing. Literally a federal filing. A notice of disclosure is a federal filing. And then for them to sabotage that, knowing that there's a time frame and a deadline, is a clear federal offense. Obstruction of justice and obstruction of federal mail. So today, guys, you saw that I called the jail, even though it was muted. I'm sorry. I was connected to Bluetooth from my headphones. But just know that's exactly what happened. I called the Ninth Circuit. They say it's not on the record, anything dated for January 17. It's clearly not on the record. I clearly explain the days how postal mail is supposed to be received, or when you're sending out postal mail. It takes a good 3 to 4 business days. Ninth Circuit never received it. Mind you, I called them last Thursday. Not too far from here, right? Last Thursday was just a while ago. They never received it. So what is going on here? What is going on? I want you guys to question that. You think about it, and so on forth. Like I stated, the first letter that my father had communication with the Ninth Circuit, they are aware of this YouTube channel, and I hope they see this. Because I'm not just going around accusing people and pointing fingers. I want them to see for themselves, this is what fraud looks like, deception. This is what we're dealing with. It's a fucked up thing, but this is what we're dealing with. So, I explained exactly what happened today. They never let me speak with the watch commander. I explained to this Todd jail receptionist that my father sent out that mail on the 17th and the Ninth Circuit never received it. So I clearly stated to her in the beginning that his mail is being obstructed. They don't take it serious. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm soon to update you guys with more information. I have to wait until the Ninth Circuit responds to the notice of disclosure, which usually takes a day or two. That's what the information I got from the reception from the Ninth Circuit. They stated it's on the docket already, but it'll take a good 2 days for them to respond to it. So I'll call again, most likely Thursday or Wednesday, and we'll see from then. But in the meanwhile, I'm working on a motion, and then this thing is just complete horseshit what they're doing. The jail, Todd Road Jail, they know they're gonna be sued soon, and they just keep adding on to the crap. Like, I don't know why they keep doing it. What are they trying to prove? Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day. Goodbye.